Hi again, Fit Steve here. Thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel. I thought I'd give you another quick tour of my games room, which has had a few sort of move arounds since the last video, and now I can produce HD videos as well to give you a better image of what I've got here, and also some internal shots as promised of the A1200 desktop, which I've set up with a Blizzard PPC and Blizzard Vision graphics card. But first, just to give you a quick tour around. So you've got my A1200 as I just mentioned with Blizzard, and the Blizzard Vision graphics card. I've also got my A4000 set up here, which I've had this for a couple of years now. You may have seen, if you keep up with my blog at fitstevesamigaworld.co.uk, that I was trying to fit a G-Rex in there unsuccessfully. At some point I will hopefully get that all working. My A4000 Mirage Pro tower, unfortunately, again out of decommission because the motherboard needs to be sent away to be have capacitors replaced. Unfortunately, they've gone. So when that's back, I can do you a video of this in operation. It will have Cyberstorm PPC, as that is now. I now have one that's working, so that'll be good news. Last thing to show you in the room is my some of my games I've got here. I keep them on these nice shelves, mostly Amiga CD games and CD32 games. I've got stacks and stacks of big box Amiga games on floppy disk, but unfortunately nowhere to store those at the moment, so they're boxed up. I've got a few game systems like my GP32 and GP2X as well. It's pretty cool for playing homebrew games, and front ends for things like Doom, old-fashioned Game Gear. Everyone loves the old Game Gear, and Neo Geo Pocket as well. Some DS games mostly. Some Spectrum tapes as well. Got a nice selection of Sega Saturn and Mega CD games, Japanese games. Dreamcast, Mega Drive, some more Saturn games, some loose cartridges. I like this little system, PC Engine, Core Graphics, that's awesome, Japanese, loads of hue cards for that as well. Got some boxed new Spectrum games, haven't played those obviously because you can emulate everything now, but they're brand new tapes, never been opened before. And some Spectrum Plus 3 games, bits and bobs. That's about all I've got space to store in here, unfortunately. Maybe one day I'll have a big space to store the other games. I'll show you a bit more detail the A1200. So this, as I said before, is packing a Blizzard PPC, fully loaded with 256 meg of RAM. The O60 on that's overclocked to 60 megahertz. And the PPC to 330. The chip's been replaced with 300 megahertz version. We've got a Blizzard Vision graphics card. I put extra cooling on the media chip because they do get pretty hot. Nice small fan I found on eBay, it's not too loud, so that's quite cool. And some extra heat sinks. It gets very warm in there. So I've also put the little feet on the bottom of the 1200 to raise it slightly to allow the O60 and PPC some air. Normally I have a IDE Fix Express in here, but it's not in there at the moment, so just using a CF card, so when you do see it loading, it will be a little bit slow to load off the IDE, but otherwise it's a nice quick system. What I'll do is I'll stop the video halfway through and rebuild that with the keyboard, and you can see it up and running. Just give you a quick look at my A4000. Again, there's lots of photographs internally available on in my gallery on my website, so if you want to pop along to fitstevesamigaworld.co.uk, I've got a blog there as well. Feel free to have a sort of look around. But the 4000 at the moment has a Cyberstorm Mark III O60, Deneb USB with some front USB ports, so I can use USB sticks or compact flash cards in there as well, so that's pretty cool. DVD drive. Workbench is just OS 3.9, classic workbench. It runs nice and quickly. It's ideal for playing WHD load games via the iGame launcher. It's really fast to load everything because it's loading on the ultra wide SCSI, so anything I want to load, any games for example, is all nice and quick. It'll even run things like Quake, albeit a tad slowly. I've got a sound card in here, a 16-bit Takata sound card, so using AHI we can play the sound through the speakers. This is just in AGA. There is a Cybervision 64 3D in here as well, but I tend just to run Quake in AGA. It seems to run a bit better than through the Cybervision for some reason. But that sound's all going through the sound card. But this is probably one of my favourite Amigas. It's all Zorro, it's all O60. There's no PPCs, there's no silly business in there. It's just an Amiga 4000. I do a lot of work with floppy disks on this one because the drive's quite good at reading disks. So that's this gets put to good use. I'm hoping to maybe do some work with Optomed, and do some sampling, but I don't have any experience with that software yet. Something I'll be learning, hope. Keep the keyboard tucked away nice and tidy underneath the desk here. Keeps the dust off it. Everything in this room is covered away from the sunlight as well, because I don't want them to all go horribly yellowed. But it's a nice place to come and hide and play with my Miggies. I'll close up this 1200 now, and I'll show you that running. Here we go. This is by magic. The 1200 is now all put back together again, keyboard in place, and workbench is currently loading up. Again, I'm running OS 3.9 on this Amiga. Hopefully it's going to boot into workbench shortly. As I mentioned, the IDE is a tad slow in the 1200, so it does really need some kind of IDE Express or something just to give it a little boost along. Let's see if this pops on now. There we go. So this has some enhancements, this workbench. It's got something called AFA OS, which gives transparency in the menus. It lets me use OS 4 style icons, which are all very pretty. It runs nice and fast. You've got, as I mentioned, a 330MHz PPC and 60MHz O60. The O60 will go faster. It's the latest mass chip, but the graphics card doesn't like to be used with overclocked O60s above 60MHz. So at the moment, we're just running the O60 at 60MHz. I've got various games and such installed on here. Again, they run very nicely because of the PPC and the graphics card. Tell you what I'll try and do. Let's load up some Wipeout. I'll let it go through the demo screens for you so you can see it running. I won't actually play a game because I'm not so great playing with one hand on the controller. There we go, just loading up the demo screen now. Apologies, it's a bit dark here. Once it gets going, it should run up a bit. Should be a bit better for you now. It'll also run such things as the 3D version of Quake, that runs really nicely on here as well. Quake 2, let's load some Quake 2 up for you, because that runs excellent on this. I know that someone commented before on a video of mine to say it shouldn't run on the Amiga 2, but I can assure you it does, so we'll show you that running now to prove the point. Let's have a look. Quake 2. So in Mini GL as well. Sound is all going through the normal Paula chip on here, so only I think 8-bit stereo on this. There we go. Just run the time demo for you, so we'll run us straight through the demo as quickly as it can and give us the frames per second score. It does take a while to load, as I said before. It's just normal IDE, so not such great transfer speeds. It's about 1.7 megasecond, and I think you're loading in a good 50 meg or so here, so that's why we're just a bit slow to load. But this is always fun to watch, an Amiga doing something as quickly as this. As you can see, overall only 12.2 frames per second. Took 56.7 seconds to do the demo. I know that the Cyberstorm PPCs will do it a bit quicker. I think about 24 frames a second. Only I think the explosions and such slow it down. That screen mode was 640 by 480 16-bit, as was the screen mode for Wipeout. I'm running the workbench in 1024 by 768. I think this is 24-bit to give me a nice looking workbench and icons. I hope you enjoyed the short video. I hope to bring you one soon demonstrating the Mirage Pro Tower that holds an A4000, which, as I said before, is having the capacitors replaced at the moment. But I've got a nice Cyberstorm PPC to install in there, and a mediator bus board, so that will be a really great system once it's all set up and running. So look forward to bringing you another video soon, and I hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks very much.